Roger.
Overdone. Did you hear that there is a new Naked Gun movie?
Yes, there is.
I'm excited.
It's got Liam Neeson in it.
I hope it's not just a repeat of the original movie. You know what I mean? It's like Hollywood doesn't have creativity anymore. They just kind of redo old movies.
It's like the same jokes. Nice beaver.
Nice beaver.
Yes.
Welcome back.
They got that picture of like the guy
Just
holding the
jumping
big
in first.
dildo. Remember that? They went to the sex shop. The guy had the dildo. Was going crazy.
Yeah, it was motorized. He was like, it was great.
Yes.
Feels like this is the second half.
I know. Well, you know what? We haven't done
before
this.
you got here.
We haven't done this in a while.
Was that Pamela Anderson? Who is that?
Yes, Pamela Anderson.
Wow, she looks terrific there. So, a lookout crime. He's fully armed. The Naked Gun. Liam Neeson features in the movie theaters August 1st.
His penis has like 5 appendages on it. Look at that. Holding her leg.
Very nice.
Very beefy.
He has a
girthy.
lot of arms.
Yes.
It's June 17th. When is it? It's Juneteenth. What happens? What's Juneteenth? Is it a specific day?
I don't think
It's Thursday.
It's not Juneteenth today. Yeah, it's the freeing of the slaves or something like
Yeah,
that.
but how does? But what is that?
I found out. Our pastor actually told us what it was. I was like, this is weird. Why are you talking about Juneteenth? So, when they did the Emancipation Proclamation, it took 2 years for that news to hit Texas, and those people in Texas were still slaves.
Right.
And so 2 years later, on Juneteenth,
it was 18th, right?
Yes.
Right.
June
That was
18th.
the question from the beginning. What do they call it? Juneteenth? Is that the 18th?
It's just 18th, I believe.
Yeah.
Sometimes it falls on Father's Day.
Yeah. So it literally was the Texas celebration of the slaves in Texas finding out that they were free 2 years later.
Because I had never heard of that
crazy?
in Ohio. That is not a thing in Ohio.
It's a Texas thing. It's 100% a Texas thing.
Yeah.
And only a Texas thing. Really.
All right.
don't
Well,
I mean, if they can celebrate it everywhere, but I'm just saying it originated.
Like I said,
in
when I was
Texas.
growing up and taking history, we did not cover Juneteenth. The Emancipation Proclamation we did, but Juneteenth was
Isn't that cool, though?
Was not on the agenda.
That was the
Wow.
first time I had heard why it was significant, which is a cool thing.
it is cool. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Dudes Like Us podcast or Dudes Like Us Woodcraft. We're the Dudes Like Us show. We got a producer, Mr. Chuck. Thank you, sir. It is June, the day before.
Day before Juneteenth.
It's Juneteenth Eve.
It's
Juneteenth.
the 19th.
Celebrating.
Very.
We are celebrating.
I'm going to bed early. Santa
Yeah.
Claus is coming.
What the hell?
Yeah.
All
We're
right.
going to be released. All right, Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
We have a jam-packed evening.
Well, because we've been just swelling with topics
Well,
and
we've only
ideas.
missed one podcast, right?
Yeah, we were out last
Did
week.
we miss two?
2 weeks.
No.
Yes, it was.
Was it two, really?
No, it was 1 week.
It was?
Yes.
Oh. Well, I was in Vegas last week.
You got to lay off
I was
the
out of
carbon
town.
dioxide.
Yeah, I was
And
out of
then-
town last week as well. That was it,
It
just
was
last
really
week.
just 1 week?
Yeah, because
God.
I left
It
last
seems like a lot longer.
Saturday, not last Saturday, but
Aw, he
Saturday
misses
morning.
you.
I did.
Yes.
I missed all of you.
yes.
Yeah, I can't think of what we did. Even Friday was kind of an easygoing night. What did you do on Friday?
Friday.
Friday, I think I traveled.
Oh, I was coming back from Vegas. I didn't get home until
Oh, that's right.
11:30 at night.
No, that
Chuck and I
sucks.
went to the Holy Grail,
Nice.
and I hadn't eaten, so I fasted on Thursday.
Did you get the wings?
I did. No,
And
no,
then
hold on.
some.
Yeah. So, but I fasted Thursday.
He
So
and his $5 wings.
I ate Wednesday dinner, and I didn't eat again until Friday dinner. So I had
Was that planned?
it was planned.
Okay. 'Cause
Yeah.
you do it on Mondays, don't you?
I did, but I failed to do it this past Monday or
Okay.
that Monday, and so I was just like, man, I need to do it. I wanted to do 2 days back to back, but it didn't work out. But
Have you found it beneficial if you alter those days or if you're consistent every week in fasting? It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I typically do it on Mondays, and I fell off the trend. I've only done it. This is my third week in a row doing it. But prior to that, when the beginning of the year, dude, I was down to 239. I
Yeah,
was
that's
I was
good.
happy. I was proud, and And then I think I had to go to Houston for a couple trips in a row and just blew that thing out of the water. And when I got back, it just messed up the routine. I never got back into it.
Yeah, vacations have a way of throwing any kind of diet out the window.
Oh, for sure. Or
So
working
now,
out, or exercise, or this, or
I'm
that.
3 weeks in now, and I've already lost 5 pounds. I'm down to 245.
Nice.
And last week I was 252. I'm telling you, man, it kind of bums me out when I look at that number, and it's just like, God bless it. It's so easy to do because I don't really eat horrible. You know, and I think Paul nails it every single time. It's portioning, Sean. I've seen what you eat. It's not what you eat; it's how much you eat.
It is.
You can eat. You eat 15 pounds of healthy food.
Did I say all that? That sounds really
I'm
intelligent.
paraphrasing,
But that's intelligent stuff.
Well, it
You're
is.
attributing that to me. I'm impressed.
Like we
I was reading between the lines.
we're cutting all the carbs out. Like we have pretzels for lunch or something like that. Well, we're done with that. We're about starting to buy in like nuts.
Yeah.
So, and I measured out portions. And you look at it, you're like, that's not very much.
Yeah.
No, dude. So they say
It's like
a
one
quarter of
nut.
a cup. Yeah, they say a quarter of a cup of nuts is what you should eat at one time.
But
You know how small a quarter cup is?
Well, I know, but I'm sitting
very
there
depressing.
and I eat it, but I'm still full. I'll eat it slow,
Ooh,
and it'll slow. It'll still satisfy.
One cashew at a time.
But it's a problem when you sit there with a big bowl and you just like shovel them in.
Shoveling. Yeah, the whole thing. Shoveling anything is not a good idea.
Yeah. So I'm gonna maybe I got some nuts downstairs. I'll bring us up a portion, a serving.
A fourth of a cup.
6 nuts.
So I want to tell you guys. So I got home late Friday, and then of course Saturday was the Chuckster's birthday party.
Oh yeah.
Congratulations!
I missed
again.
that.
He's really old now.
Yep.
And anyway, we were preparing for the party, and we needed to get bourbon, so we went to Total Wine. Right. So I go with my wife, and first off, Amanda says, "Oh, Sean and Jeff were just here," and I'm like, "Those sons of bitches! They cheated on me.
It wasn't
They went
me.
without." Oh, that's what Kevin said.
Oh.
They cheated on you. That's what Kevin said. I was like, the damn right they did. But what was funny is I walked in there with Shelly, which never happens, right? We don't
Right.
go with our wives, right? And Amanda made some comment like, "Oh, haven't seen you in a while, blah, blah, blah." And then the next guy was like, "Oh, John. Remember John?"
Oh, yeah.
John's like, "You've never had a sample from me before. Would you like a sample before?" And then the next guy's like, "Oh, you don't come here very often." And I was like, "Guys, what are you doing? Did you guys get together to convince my wife that,
they're on
that I don't have a
they're
problem?"
on the walkie-talkie. They got the little earpieces on. It's like,
Yeah.
Wife is present.
Yeah, we
Wife
got a
is present.
VIP with a wife. VIP with a wife over.
The eagle has landed.
It was hilarious. All of them were like colluding to make it
Yes.
seem like, I'm not a regular, but
Right.
anyway, it was hilarious.
I was just thinking, we haven't all been in there in a while. We need to make sure if we're all in town this Friday that we go.
They get bothered when they don't see us.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. I mean, they love to see us.
Yes.
They do.
We've been out either traveling, my work threw it off, traveling and shit like that. It's just,
Yeah.
I get too toasty when we go in there, man.
Well,
That's
that's
no, but look,
we
even
we could do better.
we could do better. But even when you have like 2 or 3, it's still toasty.
Oh yeah.
They pour the smallest shots.
No, they don't.
No, they do. They do absolutely do because people from Total Wine bosses listen to this. They give us the correct amount of.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, they give us a small little portion.
Yeah, that's right. Because we get upset. Hey, pour me a little bit more.
Give me one. They're like insistent.
like,
No,
Sir,
no.
we can't do that. We don't do that here.
yes.
That's where we go and buy a 10-pack of those Jack Daniels
Oh, my
little
Lord.
mini bottles.
We don't do that either.
Right.
That has never happened ever.
Right. Right.
Yes.
Well, we can go this Friday. I don't know what we got going on. You're not going to Kentucky. Your trip got canceled because
Yeah,
your
it
wife
did.
has, what is it, lung herpes or
I
something?
don't know. Ebola. I don't know what she has.
Popcorn lung.
Hemorrhoid.
God, these are very diverse diseases that she might have.
Well, Jeff went straight
I'm
to the
a little worried to
hemorrhoids.
go home. I'm not sure what I'm going to see if she's got all of this at the same time.
Dangling.
Dangling hemorrhoids?
some more salve on my hemorrhoids?
Cut it off! Just please cut it off!
Leave it off.
Wow.
That's nasty.
Okay,
Yes.
that's too much.
Yeah,
I think she might
preparation
have.
H.
Does she have Kessler syndrome? Is that what she has?
Could be Kessler.
Why don't you tell us about Kessler syndrome? You
Yeah,
were
but
very...
the preparation H has that new little insert nozzle. You just put it up there.
Oh,
How do you know this?
I mean, I've got one in the bathroom.
Just
interesting.
in case you want to do that.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't have hemorrhoids, but yeah.
But you continuously
continue
treat
to-
yourself.
No, I just
That's what I was getting at.
yeah. Well, I
Sean, you
I
don't
usually-
have hemorrhoids. Why
I
do you
use-
keep shoving that up your ass?
It's just
use
so
the-
easy.
I use the applicator with some bourbon, butt luge it.
It just feels good and it's preventative.
Right.
All right.
Cures cancer.
Tell us about Kessler.
Well,
is it even close to what we're talking about here?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. Well, my wife and I took a road trip last week. We can get into that later, but we rented a audiobook to listen to
Okay.
on the way up there, and it's a James Rollins Sigma Force one called Bone Labyrinth.
Oh.
And no, actually, that's another topic that we can get into. It's actually the last Terminal List book that I just read by Jack Carr. And what it is you know how we have low orbit, middle orbit, and high orbit for satellites, right?
Yes.
So most everything is in
Low.
low orbit.
Right. Because it's easier to deploy. Way easier to deploy low orbit satellites.
2, 3, 4, 5. It's the sixth book, so that's only showing 5 up there. So the sixth book is the one I just read, Red Sky Morning. And
I need to read these.
no, which one? How did I read? 1, 2,
Only
3,
the
4,
Dead?
5. Yeah, Only the Dead is the one I just read.
Okay.
And what it is, what one of the plots was, there was a tech company, kind of like a Apple, or anyway, he was trying to be as big as Google, Apple, Tesla, SpaceX, that type of thing. So he had aspirations, right?
Okay.
And he felt let down. So he was working with the Chinese to kind of take over the world. He was disillusioned with America and all that stuff. So he was going to launch a missile into low orbit with 1 million ping pong ball sized ball bearings. And what that would do, it would start the Kessler effect. This is a real thing that the satellites up there do. So if one satellite explodes, it creates the shrapnel, right?
Oh, yeah.
So then it hits the next satellite. And the next, basically it's a cascading.
So he was going to take out all the low orbit
Right.
satellites.
So what happens is it's a cascading thing. So if one blows up, they all kind of chain react. And what happens is you have this layer of junk that nothing can get through. So you can't even launch satellites into the mid because it can't get through this layer
It'll
of
take
junk.
out the rocket.
And they said it'll last 25 to 30 years for that shit to finally fall to the thing. So if that happens, all of our communications and everything in low orbit is done.
Wow.
Cell phones.
Which is the whole global communication.
Correct. All the military, all that shit. So that's what they were going for. So it's a real thing that could potentially happen. And I read, because I went out there and I started researching it, and they said that the satellites, I think they may have been specifically the SpaceX, that they every 3 minutes they are adjusting their space. They are scanning out there for
Just in case.
for obstructions, and they're moving themselves. So if one fucks up, that could be it.
That was actually the plot of the movie Gravity with
was it?
Clooney and what's her name?
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's a real thing, and it could potentially happen. And if it does, it would be catastrophic.
Right. Dang. It's so scary how there are so many catastrophic things that could happen, like the EMP.
Right.
They talk about an EMP detonating over North America or over the United States, how it would wipe out all power, and in 10 days, people start to die.
Oh, yeah.
You would think that they would have, there'd be an easier way to get rid of that junk. I mean, won't it eventually just burn into the atmosphere?
But like you said, it takes years.
It takes 25 to 30 years for all that to...
You couldn't nudge it?
Well, if you keep shooting stuff in there, it will just add to the junk.
No, I mean, you get a flying spacecraft.
Oh, I don't know. There'd have to be some kind of
bunch
solution.
of rubber around, like bumper cars, just going there, bonk, bonk, bonk.
I don't know.
Like
you would think that they would have some kind of way, because 25, 30 years of you couldn't launch the moon, you couldn't launch anything.
That'd be bad.
Because you can't get through.
I mean, how fun would that be to have an unmanned craft,
like a vacuum?
Just an unmanned craft up there, some sort of drone style thing with arms on there, where you're flying through space and you're just grabbing the shit and freaking slinging it down in the ocean.
Well, how far out is low orbit for the satellites? How many miles up is that? What's low orbit?
Ooh, they have to guess. We have to guess.
Oh.
I'm gonna say 30 miles.
I'll say 22.
I'm gonna say 45.
All right.
How many miles is low orbit?
What did I say? I forgot what I said already.
Oh, we're all wrong.
Oh, God.
Approximately 100 to 1,200 miles.
We all underbid.
Good Lord.
I was close.
Low Earth orbit is typically defined as orbit around Earth at altitudes approximately. So how many miles is the moon?
Oh, that's like hundreds of thousands.
Oh yeah, okay.
Thank you.
That makes
I
sense.
nailed that. I said
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands.
It's just-
250,000.
238,855, which
That's
was
just-
actually was my next
I
guess.
think picturing that. That's why I was like 1,200 miles. That's a lot. And I'm like,
I guess not.
no, it's not. Not when you consider space.
It's like
Okay,
from here
okay.
to California.
That gives you some appreciation on how deep, how thick our atmosphere is.
right.
It's extremely thick.
So mid-Earth, there are satellites in mid-Earth and high Earth, but we don't have very many, right? So,
Earth.
and what in the book, what China was doing is they were launching. They had the most in high orbit, right?
Right.
So this wasn't going to impact them. So they were going to have control, basically, of the world for the next 30 years.
They just need to launch a
Technology-wise.
rocket with like a big net, and just sweep and capture.
That's
all
what I'm
the-
saying. The
Like it's a
Space
pool
Force.
or something. Like
yeah, or like a really long pole with a net on the end of it.
Yeah, like
And
a
we
little
just-
pool cleaner.
Right.
Yeah, we just kind of fish it down. I mean, come
Well,
on.
they have robots for that.
got this
Yeah.
big magnet on the end.
That's what I'm saying. Get like some sort of unmanned drone up there where you could just have it fly around. I mean, I don't know how that stuff works, but that'd be. I mean, what type of gravity is up there? Is it something where they can maneuver easy? Because if there's not
Yeah.
that much gravity,
It's
all
weight-
it really has to do is just push it.
It's weightlessness. Yeah.
You know, you should be able to accelerate its drop. Just
This debris going
You
like
just can't match
thousands
it.
of miles per
Yeah,
hour.
it is. It is.
10,000 miles, I think. Oh, let's guess that. How fast is the debris going? I say 10,000.
I say 33,000.
I say 25,000.
Oh,
How
this-
fast are satellites going?
We're like totally on this game.
17,000
Ooh, what I
to
say? I said 33.
You were over.
17,500.
I said 10,000.
10.
Yeah.
I said 25. So,
You both are over. If this price is right, I would have won.
You would've won.
You would have won. I should have
so
said,
that junk's
I
going to
should
be
have said
traveling.
1 mile per hour.
You're
You
next
still
on
would've
The
lost.
Price is Right.
Bullet speed. Yes.
So you got to kind of factor that in. Is how are you going to get it up there, traveling that fast?
Well, it's not hard.
Yeah, it's
I
not
mean,
hard.
It's not hard.
Elon can do it.
No, I mean, that's true too.
Well,
But
to put it into low orbit, it's not hard. But if it's full of shit going all like this, how are you going to get in there?
I don't know. I don't know. And is it all running one direction or is it just a free for all?
It's probably
Yeah, it's all going everywhere.
Fucking microwave.
Hey, I don't know why it's making a toilet noise, but it's kind of
Yes.
going everywhere.
Well, yeah, it'd be
Another reason why we don't have
because-
cameras right now.
Yeah, really.
Right.
He's having a
Got a Sarah-Polsey attack.
No kidding.
interesting. I was way off on. Okay, so he told me to put Kessler syndrome on the board, and I had
Well, anyway, I read.
no idea what it was, and yeah, I was.
Well, I'd never heard of it, but it's a real thing.
Yeah.
And it's a possibility. Like I said, these satellites are continually adjusting themselves so they don't run into something.
Right.
And we continue to launch satellites up there, namely SpaceX, because they're the
Speaking
biggest
of
ones.
launching, there's a lot of shit being launched all over the Middle East right now.
Oh,
Like
a
back
little
and
segue.
forth.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to ruminate
Back
a little
and
bit more
forth.
about solutions on how to solve this Kessler syndrome.
I don't think we're going to solve it.
I mean,
Just get a big
Something tells
magnet.
me our ideas are probably going to fall.
Oh no!
flat.
There, I would say you can have like in the event you just have like these airplanes like C-130 constantly flying around the planet.
Yeah, but that's not even close to low orbit. They're flying at 60,000 feet.
It's okay. I mean, how far do you have to be up that high?
Yeah.
To 1,200 miles? Yeah.
If you're going to do a really long pole with a net
Yeah.
on the end of it, you got to
Yeah,
get
like
up
a-
No,
there.
I'm not
like a
saying
fly
to
lure
pull the
on
stuff down. I'm saying as an alternative to bounce your satellite signals. That's why the satellites are up there, so we can send signals down to bounce them back.
Yeah, but those planes are only going how fast? You know how long it would take to get into position? You'd have to have
No, I don't know.
No, hold on.
thousands of planes up there.
I'm just saying simply add repeaters out into the as high as those planes can go. Just put some repeaters out there. Instead of having satellites, satellites are super small.
What about balloons?
Yeah, but they're in orbit.
Hell, you know what? Balloons are actually a pretty good idea too.
Yeah, but they're in. I mean, you have to be in orbit.
Do you?
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, otherwise you're constantly
you're-
burning fuel, or you're at the mercy of the wind for balloons or fuel
you
for
have
the airplanes.
to. You have to pick your battles. If you're not going to have a signal,
Oh, okay. You're
Then-
saying if it happens.
yeah.
If the
If
Kessler
you're
thing
starting to get some
happens.
blockage, then you have to come up with some alternatives, and you just have to create a network of balloons.
of something. Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
But I don't. Would it have the? It probably has to have the elevation or the.
Well, I think your footprint
For-
would be a lot smaller.
Yes.
Right?
You wouldn't be able to bounce
it would-
signals all
and,
over the world.
and you can't.
It would
Position
require
them.
more.
right? Because you see these movies, you're like, how soon are we going to have the satellite over Afghanistan so we can see what's going on? Well, that'll be 3 hours.
Well, let me
It'll be 3
throw a
days before-
curveball at you. What happens if they sever the umbilicals between the continents? The
Transatlantic
data-
cables and
yeah.
shit.
The cables.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Is it now that we have satellites?
I
Are the cables
I
that
don't-
important?
I think it would.
I don't
you
know.
I wouldn't-
What travels on those anymore?
I wouldn't think it's all that important.
I think it's extremely
Like
important.
It's all
the
telegram.
Morse
A lot of
code.
Yeah,
the no, I think a lot of the banks use those secure lines.
all the ATMs.
I just think it's a secure
don't
data
know.
as opposed to running it through a satellite, which anyone can interpret. You know, I guess they could do the same thing on those.
They just
Well,
dive down and tap into. I think there was a movie where I saw something where they were tapping into the Transatlantic so they could glean some information.
Maybe.
Some spy movie.
I think the post office still shoots those little canisters.
Use pigeons.
No, the canisters that go.
Oh yeah, the vacuum
Don't
tubes.
they send those through the cables underneath the ocean?
Oh yeah, they're just big vacuums.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine getting caught in that?
So AI says that the transatlantic cables are still active in use and are a critical part of our global communication. While older telegraph cables are no longer in service, modern fiber optic cables carry the vast majority of international telecommunications traffic, including internet data and phone calls.
Really?
So they're continuing to lay more cable.
Oh yeah, because it's easier and easier because instead of having before they were laying these long extended copper wires, now it's a fiber optic. It's an optical. It's just one little cable.
Do they just have a boat and they just drop this and it
Yeah.
lays
Yes.
wherever
a
it
big,
lays?
a big spool on the end of it.
And they
yeah.
do,
Yeah.
it just
Well,
falls wherever it falls, kind
and
of thing.
I'm sure they have nodes where it made a repeating node out there. I don't know how that works.
I think they hit some. Oh, that's or Europe. I was going, God, it looks like they hit a little turbulence there.
Look at all
Squiggles.
those cables running across the Atlantic Ocean. That's crazy. Look
Yeah, I
at
knew
that.
they were there, but I didn't know that how much was still being. Even one up to Greenland.
No shit. Look at that. Greenland.
Greenland.
You say it differently than most people.
I was thinking the same thing. Oh, look at this Iceland and there's Greenland and America.
America.
Poland.
Poland. Yeah, I don't think you say it that way.
No.
All right. Anyway, so yeah, that's fascinating. I didn't know all those cables were still in use, and not only still in use, it handles the majority. You said,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a critical part of our global communication.
damn.
So if they're using fiber, that's as fast as light, right? Because it's
Yeah.
a lights through there.
So modern cables are fiber optic. Unlike the older copper cables used for telegraphy, modern transatlantic cables utilize fiber optic technology for much faster and higher capacity data transmission.
good Lord, look at all those.
Look at
So
all
how
those
long would it
cables.
take for a signal fiber optically to go from New York to London? What's that distance?
Wow. These
I'm going to go with 1.2. No, 21 seconds.
what to travel?
Yeah, you have to guess.
Oh, I'd say like half a second to a second.
It'd be a millisecond because
Really?
light travels at what 287 miles per hour,
Yeah, but
87,000 miles,
if-
and it's going 14,000 kilometers.
all right, come on. Tell us how fast a signal travels in the cable.
So while he's looking that up, these cables carry between 95 and 99% of all international telecommunication
Yeah,
traffic.
that's terrifying.
So what are all these satellites doing up there?
Yeah,
then?
what the hell? We don't need them.
Well,
anyway.
that's why I'm saying,
Yeah.
if I think the Kessler thing is paramount under certain conditions, but
Well, I think a
currently,
lot of the military stuff is up there, and I know a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
a lot of self-service telecommunication stuff is up there.
That's a good point. Spy satellites and shit like that, right?
spies
so they
like
can-
us.
So they can put it anywhere in the world, right? And look at the Bin Laden compound in Pakistan, right? So yeah, that's
So it travels in a vacuum, which is fiber optic. It travels at about 67% of its speed. So 67% of its, so it's 200,000 kilometers per second.
Good Lord.
damn.
And
I
it's-
was way off.
And it's going 14,000 kilometers. You just do that math.
It's less than a tenth of a second.
Yeah, that's a millisecond. I was right.
Tenth of a second. A millisecond is a thousandth of a second.
Oh, shut up. Anyways,
So when I edit this and I fact check it, we're all going to be wrong.
Oh,
All right.
of course.
Actually,
Completely wrong.
He has it up. So
Yeah, no. Yeah, it helps. Having Chuck like instantaneously fact check us really, really helps. That way,
Because you're wrong all
We've
the
been
time.
wrong. We
it
have,
minimizes
we're
the time
always
that
wrong.
we're stupid. You know what I mean?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, well, there's been a lot of things that have happened in the
Yeah,
last week.
you sparked it up a little bit about you talking about the bombs.
Dude, Iran and Israel. What a shit show that is.
So
Well, I don't know how much Iran has left. I know they're supposedly reached out to talk.
Well, yeah,
I mean, they have to be.
they're
I
running out
thought
of options.
They probably had one, maybe two good volleys left, maybe.
Yeah, because
If that.
you know that planes are still flying over of Iran and taking out whatever missile batteries they can find.
Well, it's also they're taking out their F-14s from 1979 that
yes,
they purchased.
and leadership and military installations. They have full air superiority.
I know the last of the F-14s, right?
Yeah, the last ones.
Oh, the last one's on the planet?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Tomcats
yeah, I was going to say that.
from Top Gun.
Top Gun.
So you know what's so interesting about this thing is they waited 60 days, right? Trump said you have 60 days to come to the table and work out a deal. And then on the 61st day, Israel launched its attack. And then Trump was like, "Hey, I gave you 60 days. You didn't do anything. You weren't serious about it."
Yeah.
And then Israel started kicking the shit out of them. Because remember last year they knocked out all of their air defenses.
Yep, they have no air defense.
Yeah, they knocked them all out last year. And they did that because this whole thing was all
Calculated.
in motion. Yes.
Well, they've completely beat them down. That they've taken out their proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, and Houthis.
Yep.
Right, those are all for the most part gone.
But they're not a threat for sure.
Yeah, they're not a threat. They're not gone yet, but they're not a threat.
Right.
And then they took out all their defenses and everything. And even before this happened, I heard that Iran's regime is teetering on the edge.
Yeah.
And then Mossad is assassinating just everyone in sight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently they've taken out like 40 leaders now, 20 to 40 leaders. I mean, this is ripe for a civil war.
Well,
Like
also what
a
I'm
coup,
hearing,
a coup.
yeah, also what I'm hearing is the people of Iran do not like their leadership.
They never have.
Yeah.
But I'm curious what they're going to do. I mean, are there Christians there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not
I
a
wonder.
lot, but
I wonder if it's still going to be under "quote unquote" Muslim control.
Oh, it absolutely
I'm sure
will
it will be. Yeah,
Yes. They're not going to give up their religion. They just don't
So
want to be oppressively.
So the ideology is still going to be the same,
No,
just not as.
the religion will be the same. The ideology will be different.
Correct. Remember, this is a radical theocracy, and moderate Muslims that are oppressed by their own theocracy are like, yeah, we're not on board with this.
Because if you see Iran back in the 70s, it was very contemporary.
Yeah, it was. As a matter of fact, it was very modern. It was very West leaning.
Yes.
I mean, they were, they had the fashion and music, and they were becoming a Western like culture.
Yeah. Girls in the skirts and everything.
Yeah, with
they
makeup
have-
on.
And then if you remember, yeah, I mean, look at that. The girls going to school and whole 9 yards. And then if you remember, the Shah came over for surgery and all that. And then I don't know if he got assassinated or he died. And that's when the Ayatollahs took over.
Yeah, then it was a coup.
Yeah, then it was coup and the Ayatollahs took over and all this went away.
And then all the embassy people got kidnapped.
Yep.
Right? That's how it all went down during Carter.
Yep. So,
Carter was so awful.
Yeah, he was weak.
I mean, look at that.
Yeah, so there's pictures of a bunch of girls wearing
Wearing
shorts,
Western
and
clothes.
short clothes where you can see their butts.
I don't know.
Well, not bare butts, but you can see what they look like.
Well, it looked like
Western society.
yeah, back then.
So that's why they kind of brought them back to, strict Islamic rule, right? So
That's my point though. There's still going to be a lot of oppression. There's still going to be throwing homosexuals off of buildings.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't know. We're
Because
gonna have to
there
wait
are
to see.
modern. There's more moderate. Like look at Jordan.
I'd like to try to
Jordan's
figure
actually
that out.
a good example.
Right.
I don't think Jordan's doing. That's not oppressive at all, right? And I don't think they're doing that kind of like the Taliban and the
So I
Iranians.
wonder if they still follow like the Quran, or is there an Islam light that is going to be extracted from the Quran?
No, I think it's the same Quran. I mean, I think there's just different sects that interpret it in more radical ways.
Just like here, you have the hardcore Christians who are vastly against homosexuality.
Oh yeah,
I don't know about they're killing them, but there's swings of different values with even the folks who read the Bible.
Yeah, the hardcore Baptists, right?
Right.
They're like they can't don't want music, and they don't no drinking, no music, no this, no that.
And you got those Mormons, I forget his name, the Koresh.
David Koresh.
David Koresh.
Was he a Mormon?
No, he wasn't a Mormon.
No, but he was a derivative of some sort of weird religion cult where they suppressed and oppressed women and sexualized them, and
well, he took the little girls as wives.
So anyway, going back to the geopolitical part of this, so really Iran doesn't have a lot to fight back with right now.
That's what I mean.
They have no leverage.
I wonder how many volleys of missiles they actually had. Were they just like, maybe we have one, maybe two? I don't know. Because I've seen some made it through.
Yes, they did.
So
that was surprising to me.
Yeah. Maybe it was just too many.
We just kind of felt like Israel was impervious.
Yeah, maybe
with their Iron Dome and their this and their that.
Maybe they shot their huge load, and they're just like, well, let's see if this does it, kind of a thing.
That's all they got.
And then because they did it twice, I think, didn't they?
So
over the course of a day or 2 days, maybe. I don't know.
So
I haven't been following too much. I've been on the fucking road.
So, in my opinion, the regime absolutely is vulnerable. I don't know if it's teetering, but it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable from an internal civil, coup perspective. It's absolutely decimated.
It makes you wonder if you push them in the corner, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what do they have? Do they have a nuclear weapon?
No.
Do you get Libya out of it? I don't think we want.
Well, the
you're saying Libya would get involved?
No. Well, I meant Iran would become Libya.
Oh, where it's like falls into total chaos.
Chaos.
Yeah, I got you.
That's when Gaddafi got axed.
Yeah, we don't want to nation build. I don't want any scenario where we're starting to put American peacekeepers on the ground and we're helping them build their government. And I don't know. I have hope because Syria had a relatively peaceful overthrow.
Right.
Syria did.
Yeah.
Like Assad, right?
Yeah, Assad went into exile. And
that's right. And he was in power for what, 30 years?
A long time.
Yeah. So in total oppressive dictator, right?
And then it depends on who you ask, but yeah.
yeah, I hear you. And then so they have, the rebels have this lightning fast attack and somehow shocked the world and, knocked Assad out and he went into exile. And they have been relatively stable since. And we didn't have to do shit. Now, maybe stuff was happening behind the scenes, like CIA, and maybe that kind of stuff was happening. I don't know.
Right.
But that's what I'm hoping for, is Iran has a relatively, oh, wow, what's going on with all that video?
That's in Israel.
Oh, they're hitting Israel.
Yeah. There's some getting through.
Damn. Is that now? Is that right now?
This was as of an hour ago, yeah.
Oh, shit. And they're all coming in. You know what? Also, their missile defense is smart enough to let missiles that won't hit anything strike the ground. So that doesn't necessarily mean that they're hitting good targets.
Correct.
But damn, look at that. Wow. There's a lot of that are hitting the ground there. That's not good. Anyway, this is major geopolitical developments in this week. This is 40 years in the making. The big deal.
Yeah, that was 1978, 79 when the Ayatollahs took over.
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a big, big deal. We'll have to see how this plays out. And Trump is stocking up a game, man. It's crazy.
Well, I just want him to continue to shut the fuck up. Just kind of take as far as a back seat as you can. I don't want to get involved in any other bullshit. I don't need shenanigans. We don't need to invest any more money into any other country. We need to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, I do not want to get into. I don't want to have a hand in this war. No question about it.
We could take care of some humanitarian stuff if they need some help humanitarianly wise. But no, we don't need tanks on the ground, feet on the ground, boots on the ground, whatever.
We'll let Israel do the work.
Trump is actually, I think, more of a pacifist than anything because he's always been kind of anti-war.
He is. Trying to end conflict, but he's also not afraid to.
Correct. He's not afraid to go if he needs to, but he doesn't. That's not his first option.
No,
it's like his last
kind of thing. If they bomb a U.S. base, it's not gonna be pretty.
Right.
It's gonna be like he will unleash for real. So I don't know. Anyway, that's some fascinating stuff that's happened this week.
Well,
Did you see? Hold on, real quick. Did you see the video of the Iranian lady newscaster? She was on TV.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And she was talking. I don't know what she was saying because my sound was off. She was probably also an Iranian.
She's
But
probably talking shit.
probably, and also her
Yeah, she's like,
station gets
We
hit.
are not afraid. We will crush you. Ah, fuck. Fuck.
What? They're
Yeah,
here?
there she is, right there.
She's
Missile incoming.
Mrs. Incoming 3, 2, 1.
No, she's like, holy shit.
Yeah, and she's like, ah,
Peace out.
I need to go
Yeah,
away.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
Hey, look, it sucks. I don't want to see anybody die.
I
You know,
know,
it's,
I know.
It's. I just want them to go away. Just hey, go live your life the way
Yeah.
you want, but just don't do it near me.
Yeah.
Don't go away
far,
mad.
far away.
Don't go away mad. Just go away.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Just live your life, man. Don't try to kill everyone else who doesn't agree with you.
Living your life is important. That's what we've been doing what you've been doing, Jeff. We did this last week. Chuck's birthday was here.
Oh, yeah?
We did a little celebrating at my house. You were gone. You couldn't make it. You were traveling abroad.
Gallivanting.
You want to chat about that?
Gallivanting everywhere.
That's all right. Hey, man, look, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Of
You know
course.
what? You're in a perfect spot right now.
Yeah, we went to, my wife and I, we got some friends who actually just got married about a month ago, and they have been working to move to Wyoming. And he bought some acres, I think about 35 acres or so by Laramie somewhere. And the house they were going to put there kind of fell apart. They kept getting kicked back, and they were...
Is that because Chinese bought the neighboring house?
No, it's just supply chain, and there's not very much... it's just
Materials and stuff.
not materials, but there's not a lot of people up there to actually do the work,
Oh wow.
right? So you have to bring people in because the population in the entire state of Wyoming is under 400,000.
Dang.
The entire state. So, finding good people to work it, and a lot of people,
I can go there and work at being carpenter.
100% you could.
How long ago did they buy the land?
He bought it in 2018, I think.
Damn. That
And
land that you were showing the video of,
No.
the rivers and stuff.
No, this was a different plot of land.
Okay.
And like I said, it kept falling through and everything, and it was doubling in price, the price of this house that they kept putting on there,
Oh damn.
because shit kept going up, right? And it was taking so long, price kept going up. So finally, they're like, forget that. So they started looking, like, what else is out there? And he found this. His realtor actually had the insight, and then the lady who owned this, her husband just died, and they were extremely wealthy. And they have multiple homes across the United States and the world, right? And this was one of them.
Right.
They would come out in the summertime and live there. And they built this. It's a log cabin. It's on 2 acres, and it sits between 2 rivers.
Mhm.
Their land is kind of a wedge, and I sent you a picture of it. It's snow melt right now, so it's rushing.
That is a rushing river.
It's like rapids, and it's happening on both sides of their house.
I wonder if it's going to deteriorate the land eventually.
No,
That'll wash the house away if it floods.
That's
No.
what I'm saying.
they're no, because I asked that. I go, are you? They have to buy flood insurance. 'Cause
Well, what's
you
it
never
gonna
know.
What's going to prevent it from washing it away?
The other side is a lot lower, so their house is up here. The other side of the river is a lot lower. So
it
if
has-
water comes in,
It
it's
has
going
somewhere
that,
to go.
It's
I
going
got
that
you.
way.
Yeah.
Now, could something catastrophic happen?
No, I meant like
they've
just
never-
the natural wear and tear of earth movement from the
Well, I'm sure.
water.
I'm sure over time, if you see some erosion, you're going to pull some folks out there to reinforce that, right?
Sure.
But
Especially if you're rich.
anyway,
Put some big rocks in there, like you fell off.
yeah,
on
they're actually in
San Marcos River?
Centennial, Wyoming. And when I say it is remote out there, it is remote.
Really.
It's not like driving around if you get out of Frisco and Prosper. There's nothing out there. And it's just open. I mean, look at that town that they live in.
There's
That's it.
nothing. They have a liquor store, a Total Wine.
They have a couple restaurants, and they don't have their store is that friendly store. It's like a little general store that you see in these little towns.
Yeah.
If you want a gallon of milk or something like that.
Sure.
Otherwise, you're driving half an hour into Laramie.
Damn.
They
Which
have
is
Amazon delivery.
Yes, they don't have overnight. They said it takes 2 to 3 days.
Still, that's amazing.
But during the wintertime, it could take longer because they'll get feet of snow, right? So,
So how'd they get this land?
That must suck.
their real estate agent, because it wasn't even on the market yet. but the real estate agent kind of, I guess, knew this lady.
About it. They all do.
And they took him out there, and it was during October. They have aspens out there. If you know what aspens are, tremendously beautiful. It was bright yellow. And there's just the acreage of this, and the rivers were on both sides, and it was. They said it was magical. And he looked at his fiance at the time. Goes, "Is this?" She goes, "Yes, this is the one I want."
And they could afford it? I mean, it wasn't like crazy expensive?
No, I don't know. I didn't ask them how much they paid for it, but they bought it. And one of the contingencies is that she was a interior designer, and she bought all this furniture specifically for this house. So they had to buy the furniture as well. But she's got some very unique pieces.
The seller was saying that the furniture goes with it.
But they had some very unique pieces in there, a lot of paintings and stuff like that are worth some money. So, they're in those trees somewhere.
Your video was amazing.
Yeah.
Of the water going by.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the bourbon glass.
Oh, well, that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was a nice surprise at the very end. I was
know.
like, oh, look at that. Like, oh.
He's showing the river, the rushing water. He's panning down, and all of a sudden this beautiful glass of bourbon shows up in the picture.
Yeah. So it's absolutely stunning. The house was beautiful, well done, and they're talking about expansion, putting the deck on, and every day I'd sit out there. They had a bench sitting out there by the river, and I just sit there and for an hour, 2 hours, I just read my book. It was beautiful. They have moose. They'll come through and just plop down on their land.
Did you see any of them?
We saw them not on their property, but we saw them on one of our drives going over to the distillery we hit, and we went over to Saratoga.
You should have took out your pocket knife and chased it down.
Those things are fucking huge, man.
Pocket knife, huh?
Huge.
That would be your strategy, Sean? That's your strategy?
Stab its eyeball out.
Your moose hunting strategy?
You got to blind it. If you can't see you.
Yeah, we went to Saratoga. Beautiful.
I got one eye.
Fuck, where is he?
And he said that there's an extreme amount of money that lives there.
Oh, I bet.
Ton of millionaires, billionaires. I guess
all from California.
I guess Bill Gates owns a bunch of property out there.
Of course he does.
Of course he does.
He goes, apparently he hangs out in Centennial where they live. Bill Gates does. He goes, I've never seen him yet, but apparently he comes out there quite,
Make
sometimes.
him a nice special shit sandwich for him.
And he said that
sitting in the Starbucks.
There's an airport in Saratoga that a lot of the extremely wealthy come out to, because apparently there's a very exclusive golf course out there.
Oh.
He goes, whenever I drive by and go to Saratoga, which they go like every week because there's hot springs over there, they'll look to try to catch what private jets are there. And he goes, sometimes you'll see a dozen of these private jets just lined up there. And they go to a golf course. And they go golfing. So I don't know if that's it or where it's at, but
it's just, I hate that though. It just kind of makes it
that
feel
would
like,
have to be the golf course. I mean,
probably.
Don't you hate the fact that it seems like the most beautiful places on earth are just reserved for the ultra rich? You know what I mean? I know your friends are probably not in that category, and it's probably absolutely not true what I'm saying. But you know though,
right?
It just seems like for you to be able to afford this, beautiful country, you just have to be.
Yeah, I think that they find beautiful spots like that, I think that there's some sort of, and this is on the far, people guys probably call me a conspiracy theorist, but I don't give a shit.
Here we go.
Maui.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know how the fire started. Nobody knows, but there was no water.
Right.
Yeah.
And shit happened.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that Oprah was apparently roped into that conspiracy theory?
Well, she was. It was understood that she was bidding to buy all the stuff.
I'm sure.
Because the government was going to be taking it over, and then they were going to go ahead and pass it out law. Also, L.A. The L.A. fires. Same scenario. Fires. It's a desirable place to be.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're part of this,
is it really desirable right now?
Well, no. I mean, not with the politics. The politics going on.
All the stupid
but the
riots.
land itself out there, it's beautiful.
Oh, it is. California is absolutely beautiful.
And even if it's not a conspiracy theory, even if those things were set on purpose, that kind of thing, it still sucks that when those things happen, the people who benefit are the fucking ultra rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yep.
either way,
Yep.
it's like a shitty situation.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, the people that live there can't afford to rebuild, and then somebody comes in and sweeps it all up, and then out they go. Right?
How do we feel about this? I mean, look, I am happy. I'm tickled to death that we have these military soldiers supporting our local officers in these immigration peaceful riots that they got going on.
Yeah, quote quote peaceful, right?
Peaceful.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm-
it's mostly peaceful fires.
If they weren't there, if those guys were not there to keep the peace, or at least
Oh, it would've
it'd be 1,000 times worse.
Oh, it would have been way worse, and they would have let it happen. 100% would let it happen. They would
out in
have.
California,
Yes, in
Yeah.
L.A.
Anywhere. I mean,
Yeah.
even like in Texas and downtown Austin, there was some shenanigans going on. Downtown Dallas, there was shit going on. Downtown McKinney. There's
So-
people coming out everywhere.
I am so thankful that law and order is being restored.
well, if they want to protest, let them do that. But once they get out of hand,
Fuck them up. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the message that some of these sheriffs were saying. If you protest, but if you cross the line, you touch, spit, punch, whatever, any of
Yeah.
my officers, expect
You're
retaliation.
going down.
But the
Yeah.
whole concept of no kings is just absurd. It's retarded. I mean,
know.
he's not a king. He doesn't think he's a king. He doesn't want to be king.
We already have. I heard this. We already have a No King's Day. It's called July 4th, Independence Day.
Amen.
That's right.
Right?
Amen, brother.
What was that all about? To kick the damn
Exactly.
king out
Well,
of the United States.
All this is TDS, man. Trump derangement syndrome.
What it is,
That's all-
but they're
that's all this
they're
is.
protesting everything.
I know.
And-
Because they got nothing left, dude.
And a lot of these people, at least some of the pictures I've seen, I don't know about here in Frisco, but a lot of the folks that I see out in California and all that were a bunch of old folks because they're just old and liberal.
What I'm
Yeah.
enjoying
Hold
watching, or
hold
what
on.
I'm also enjoying, is that we're being smarter. At least they're being forthright with their investigations. Whenever, like, they caught the people that were passing out all those bionic masks.
Yep.
You know,
Right.
they caught them, and they're gonna figure out who funded that. And I think that's amazing. All that stuff there are
Right.
different people that are professional protesters,
Yeah.
and they're busting them.
Yeah,
people
see,
showing
like
up with
this-
signs.
People are finally
Like this,
being
I don't
held
care about
accountable.
this. I think it's silly, but I don't care. They could do this all day if they
yeah,
want.
I don't care.
So
I mean, be heard.
It is what it is. But
Yeah.
as soon as you start getting into the street and causing problems, that's where I have the
So
problem.
here's what I was couple things. This No Kings thing was nationwide, right? It was nationwide, and apparently, like, over 1 million people participated in various No Kings
Sure,
things.
sure.
How much shit went down for the most part? Was it quiet?
I
Pretty
don't.
quiet.
I don't know because I
It's
asked
pretty
you
quiet.
guys how it's going
It was
here.
very quiet. You want to know why? Because we being the right or the anti-protesters didn't bother going out there and causing any problems.
Right.
Let them do their thing. It was relatively peaceful. There was a couple incidents here and there, but we didn't do the shit that they do. I hate the we and they, but it's the reality.
It's true.
Right.
Yep.
So remember, whenever we were doing rallies, Antifa would show up, and Antifa would start messing up, with their black outfits,
masks and
right.
shit, yeah.
Did we do any of that? No, and that's why everything was relatively peaceful across the nation.
Well,
And does anybody call that out? No.
well, I mean, there's Antifa here. They had bikers out there that were silencing some of those Antifa players.
Yeah, it's. Oh, you mean back
Yeah.
way back when though?
No, not
I'm
like
talking
this
about
past week. They have motorcycle gangs out there that were protecting some of the.
They were keeping the peace,
They were out. They were hunting.
But
they
I
were
didn't-
hunting for Antifa.
but I didn't think there were anti-protesters, were there?
There were Antifa people there.
Okay.
So I don't know what the function was except to cause chaos.
Well, Antifa, I think, is different than what these folks are. Right? These are just libs being idiots.
Yeah.
Antifa
well, I mean,
takes they're agitators. The Antifa.
Well, let me
is.
Yeah,
rephrase
They're
that.
instigators.
I don't. There
Yes.
may not be Antifa, but they had black clothes on, masks on. They were dressed up in the same Antifa
It probably was
garb.
Antifa
It probably was.
because they wanted this to turn violent.
Yes,
Antifa's a violent organization.
100%.
These folks here stand on
And
the
they're
other side of the
funded.
road
And
are
they're
not.
funded to cause problems.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, and they're getting paid $150 a day. They at least $150 a day. They interviewed some of these guys. They were
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, we there was someone approached me, and I got like 6 of my friends. We're all getting paid."
Yep.
Amateur, and he was just like, "I decided I didn't want to do it." I went out there, and then my friends are like destroying things. I was like, "I love America. I don't really want to do this.
Right.
This is
Right.
stupid."
So
Amen.
that makes me question. Okay, we had all these people. Okay, well, how many are really behind it? or are they just kind of
The paid idiots.
paid, or
They get paid cash, by the way.
or what? Because you never see really people getting interviewed on the street because they're fucking idiots, right? So
and they're keeping the people. These people that they're bringing,
yeah, see, these people are the agitators.
they're grabbing them and they're recording who they are. Going to track them down, archive them,
So
follow their
pathetic.
bank accounts.
So pathetic. I hate it. We're watching a video of them.
Where is this? Portland.
Portland.
Oh, go
Portland,
figure.
yeah, Portland's a mess anyway. But anyway, I was happy to see that it was pretty much nonviolent nationwide.
Right.
And I attribute it to the fact that we didn't go out and anti-protest. The right did not. Oh wow!
Yeah, that dude got slingshot.
Yeah, he's not going to feel good.
They
in
have
the
all
morning.
kinds of stories where people are getting hit with these rubber balls in the freaking forehead, walking away. Like the next day, they got a big old dot in the middle of their forehead.
Ow! Ow!
These rubber bullets. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
You know what? Look, and people getting run over. And DeSantis said, "Hey, look, you're in the fucking middle of the street in Florida. I just signed a bill that says if you're in the street, you block the car and you cause a riot, and the driver wants to flee, he's allowed to flee. And
Right.
if you're in the way, sucks to be you."
Yeah.
Too bad. Too bad. So sad.
You
Horny.
try to commit suicide is what we call that.
Yeah.
FOFA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. So what else did you do on your trip? All right.
So we
you
went to
visited
Wyoming and-
Beautiful Wyoming.
Oh yeah. Again, I recommend going there. Skip the Jackson Hole because that's fucking expensive. That's where all
Yeah.
the Californians. That's where
The
the very
Jackson Hole.
Jackson Hole's very touristy.
Is that the
What
capital?
is that?
That's on the west side.
That might be the capital, right?
No, I don't think so. I think Laramie or
Laramie.
Cheyenne is. Yeah, Jackson Hole is on the west side, and that's where that the Grand Tetons are, and Yellowstone.
Valley
is
in
start-
western Wyoming.
Yeah, that's an extremely expensive place to visit and to live.
It's like $28 hamburgers.
Just probably is even more. I don't know. We didn't go, but it's beautiful. I imagine if you can get there, do it. But where we were at, absolutely stunning. Medicine Bow National Park, stunning, and it's not crowded at all.
Nice.
And there's Airbnbs out there. Laramie is one of the major cities, and there's only 30,000 people that live there.
Beautiful.
You know,
I like that plan.
Yeah.
I like being where it's not crowded. No lines, no traffic, no
nothing. And
middle of nowhere.
They had a downtown. It kind of reminded me of McKinney. It had restaurants. It had bars. Now there's University of Colorado is there, so you got during the school year you'll have some of that going on. But it's absolutely beautiful.
They have $4 drinks.
We went to a brewery there.
Some stripper bars.
I didn't see any of those.
You know, LeBears or something.
I didn't see any of those.
Yeah, he saw the
yeah.
LeBears.
Oh,
I know he
Yeah,
did.
we were there. Me and
Julia's like, okay, you have an hour. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Did you
Right.
bring your bow tie?
Bonds Brewing. Bonds Brewing. That's where we went.
What the
He's
hell?
in there like Chris Farley.
Oh, yeah. He and Patrick Swayze.
God, that's what it would look like too. That'd be horrible. God. But Bonds Brewing, it was good. It's a brewery, and they have all kinds of restaurants. And one of the days it was Tuesday. We went to tea,
Tea.
Like iced tea?
Tea bag.
like English tea.
Oh, hot tea.
Oh.
All
It was,
right.
it was high tea, but it was tea at 10 on Tuesday. So it was at 10 o'clock. And they brought out, they had all of this kind of tea. I got a chai tea pot. It was like a little
Marijuana?
little pot of tea.
Oh.
Did you start speaking in like a German, in a
the,
British
the
accent?
thumb was sticking out.
Oh, good day, my. Hello.
And they brought out a little tray of
Did your teeth all of a sudden
sandwiches.
become discolored and
It
crooked?
was. They had British teeth all of a sudden.
I'm sorry. Are British teeth
Yes, they did
Well,
not.
it's
They
the-
did
it's
not.
the
They
cliche
have, they
thing.
have the
Really?
national health care, so they didn't go to the dentist.
I didn't know that they're. What do you say? They're. How'd you describe the teeth
I
again?
said discolored and crooked.
They are British teeth. I don't know if it's still that way, but British did not take care of their teeth at
Oh,
all.
that is so interesting.
'Cause they didn't
I've
go.
actually never heard that characterization of British people.
Yeah. So I asked one of the Craig who grew up there. I was like, how come how come your teeth are all bad over there? He's like, well, it's because we never went to the dentist because
I guess so
The
because it was
healthcare.
not. It was not part of the national plan.
I
Huh?
guess yeah.
Wow. So
So-
they all have wooden teeth now?
Yeah, so we went to have tea, which was interesting. We had some really good little snack cakes and cupcakes.
God,
And,
that's so snobby.
and,
Yes, we're going to have tea. Would you like to? Will you join us for tea?
Would you like this crumpet?
Yes, they had crumpets and little cucumber sandwiches.
Your
And,
teeth are discolored and crooked.
Would you like some Grey Poupon?
right. It was called Sugar something. The Sugar Mouse. That's where we went. The Sugar Mouse
That
cupcake.
sounds
cakes.
suspect.
It
Click
so
on
does.
that. Wait till you see the inside of it.
Nasty.
It
Hi,
is-
my name is Jordan.
It is. If you had,
Are you guys going to the Pride Parade?
yeah, that's it.
Did they have any Pride Parade stuff going on, especially on Saturday?
No, they didn't.
No, they did not.
They celebration of our 250 years of Army.
The ultra rich don't do stuff like that.
Oh,
No. Well, these folks here aren't the ultra rich, but
Oh, well.
yeah,
did you guys celebrate Donald Trump's birthday on Saturday?
yeah, that's where we were at.
That's why they had the parade, I thought.
Yeah, that was. But anyway, it was interesting. I never did anything like that before. I never had high tea before, but it was good.
It was fun, huh? It was a fun experience.
It was. No, but it was good. It was busy as shit too. She had the market, man. It was
Nice.
busy. But yeah, see the little tray there? That's exactly what we had there.
Look,
Very
I love
interesting.
tea. I drink tea almost every single day.
I do not. No, I'm not a fan. I will drink iced tea, but I can't drink any hot liquids. I don't know why. I'm weird.
What?
I can't drink hot liquids.
Why?
I don't like hot chocolate. I don't like hot tea.
You don't like hot tea and bourbon like we had up in Colorado?
No.
Hot toddy?
That was your thing. Oh my god, this is the best drink ever.
It was.
I'm gonna add honey.
Have you had that since?
No. Literally not once.
But it wasn't convenient.
Right.
Plus, I wasn't in Colorado. I mean, Colorado was different. I was kind of like, oh, this is nice.
He was
Right.
emotional when he
Right.
found this drink.
So after that, after Wyoming, we spent 4 days up there. We went to Brush Creek Distillery, which is
Brush Creek.
Brush Creek,
Okay,
which
never heard of
is
that one.
it is a luxury ranch. It's thousands of acres. It's a working ranch, and it's between. Yeah, that's it right there. That's where we're at. That's the tasting room. That's where we were at, and
Nice.
it's a luxury ranch. And they have, it's almost like a luxury dude ranch, where you can go and actually
yeah.
participate and stuff like that.
Sure. And you are assigned a horse and you get to take care of it for 2
Yeah,
weeks.
well, they have rooms there. It's $3,000 a night.
like a brothel?
Oh my god.
$3,000
$3,000 a night.
$3,000
More
bucks.
expensive than a brothel.
Yeah, that's during the on season. On the off season, it's half price. But your meals are included. Everything's included.
Your women.
You would
Yes.
think.
All your horrors are
A little
included.
reach around.
Jeff.
You mispronounced horse.
Yes.
Oh,
of
horse.
course. Yes.
Yeah, your horse is included.
But the
Oh, it
restaurant
gets a complimentary
yeah,
horse.
But the restaurant there is supposed to be next level. It's $180 a person
Dude, that's a lot. $3,000 for a
That's
night?
for
ridiculous.
a night.
That's ridiculous.
That.
It is.
I mean, I guess you know what? If you've got the money, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yes, there you go. That's the key.
Yeah.
If you've got so much money you don't know what to do with it,
I guess
go to
the security
Wyoming.
is super top notch because those are the type of people that would go there that
well,
can afford
that's very Yellowstone-ish, where because you're out there and it's everybody is stay out of my shit, basically. Keep off my property or I'll shoot you, kind of a place.
yeah, they're
Out
real
there.
big on freedom
Yeah. So.
and privacy.
Yeah. So. The security, it's a bunch of ranch workers out there. That's they'll beat the shit out of you if you look at them sideways, kind of a place, right? So that's what lives out there, right? So when we were driving down the side of the road, they had a big cattle run. So they had all the horse trailers, had all their horses lined up, and all the cattle. were
And it was
going-
like for real.
yeah.
Was it like
100%.
being in Hereford, Texas, where you could smell all the cow manure?
I didn't smell much cow maneuver out there.
No, you smell the methane that's destroying the environment.
Yeah, they were capturing all that.
They were
Oh,
captured.
good.
I sent them my design.
Oh, your butt mask.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. That's
So I
really
bought a
paying off.
bottle. It's out there. It's a rye. I thought it was their best. They had some barrel strength out there that
Pretty good.
it was. The barrel strength was, I think, a little young. It was really hot, so I didn't buy it.
Ooh, gotcha.
Yeah. So anyway, it was outstanding. I highly recommend. We can get into the rest of it later, but Wyoming, highly recommend going up there because you'll escape it all. As far
Yeah.
as big city, there's no traffic.
Take our jet.
Now, will we be able to meet your friends and stay there as well?
I don't know. I didn't broach that.
Do they
topic
have?
with them. They have one room.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, they have their bedroom and then one other bedroom.
Oh, okay. They have
Oh.
one guest. That'd be kind of weird.
I'm not going with you then, Sean. You can go.
Do they have room for a trailer to park out? Actually, I would. I guess bring an RV would probably be the best thing. But hell, it would take forever to get there. You guys drove. How long did it take?
It drove. We did it in 2 days. We drove to Raton, North Mexico, or New Mexico, New Mexico, and that took 9 hours to get out there.
Yep.
And then we stopped at Garden of the Gods on our
Ooh,
way
nice.
up there.
Yeah.
Did you take some pictures by that?
Yeah.
Manitou Springs.
And then we didn't do the Manitou. And then it was about 2.5 hours to get to there, and then another 3 hours to get to their place. So it was about a total of 14-hour drive if you did it straight through, 15-hour drive. So
to
Brings back
Wyoming?
memories.
yeah,
So you took 25 through Denver all the way up? Or
25 is an asshole road, by the way.
Yeah, it is. Totally.
Yeah.
But you took 25 all the way. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's right across the border,
It sure is.
so it's not far into
Wyoming.
So it's about 5 hours from Raton,
That's not bad at all, actually.
New Mexico. So yeah, I mean, it was about 15-hour drives. It was probably off close to 15 with stopping for lunch and taking a shit and stuff like that. So
We have a bourbon where we have not discussed. And we're coming up on, I think, 10 minutes.
Sean finished his.
I accidentally just pulled my back. I want a little bit
accidentally.
I'll go get it.
Oh, I see what you're doing. You downed it on purpose so you can get another
more. Oh,
pour.
come on. I mean, you guys do that every other time.
Actually have never done that before. Yeah, we're going to have to come up with some new ground rules here.
Yeah. So this one is what Sean likes to call an advent, right? This is one of the lower proof ones that I got, but I got it because you can't buy this anywhere except at the distillery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sean.
let's enlighten our listeners out there what the Advent thing is. So Jeff went on as many trips he's taken lately, which is good for you, to Kentucky, and he comes back with a smorgasbord of whiskeys and very high end distillery only bottles. And we were going to be like little kids and open them all up. And I was like, we decided let's just open them up one at a time, and it'll be our little Advent calendar until we get around. So this week's is
This is Willett's Finest Quality Old Bardstown, Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 100 proof,
Yeah. So
50% alcohol. Willett.
Bottle and Bond.
yeah, it's Bottle and Bond. It's Willett. It's called Old Bardstown. And Old Bardstown, it was a horse way
Yes.
back in the day. I think ran the Derby probably.
Oh, yeah, there's a picture of a horse right
Yeah,
there
so
on the bottle.
that's the name of the horse. Also, the name of the town that's out there is Bardstown.
Yes.
So this is by Willett, who also makes one of our favorites bottles, Noah's Mill.
Yes.
It's all pot still. It was a very small operation actually when we went out there. Great guy that gave us a tour. But we got to taste all of the product. We tasted this and we found out that it was just distillery only. It was only $50-$60, so it wasn't real expensive. I don't even know if it was that much because Noah's Mill is 55, and that's 118 proof or so.
Right.
Yeah. Well, 115 to
Yeah.
119, somewhere in there.
So this one was very reasonably priced, and yeah,
How much was it again?
it was like probably $50.
Yeah.
If that.
Well, I'll tell you, it tastes great.
Yeah.
It's thin, but it's still for me. This is going to score high in the bottle and bond section. This is
Well, I think
extremely desirable.
one of the reasons I was excited about this is because I wanted to see how we compared it to Noah's Mill. Granted, Noah's Mill has a little bit more going for it because of the proof, but flavor-wise, I think it's similar from what I remember from Noah's Mill.
So it says this whiskey has been made from a formula and method developed by generations of Willett distillers, Kentuckians dedicated to producing the greatest Kentucky bourbon, old-time sour mash.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right, so let's. What do we talk about the nose?
I think it smells. It's to me, this is a very traditional bourbon, taste-wise. If you like that standard bourbon flavor, this definitely has it.
Yeah,
It's
nothing overpowering.
above average.
Oh yeah, this is definitely
sure.
above average.
Yeah, nothing overpowering. Nothing. It's just like a smooth, classic
Bourbon.
bourbon nose
Yep.
and finish.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing offensive or anything
No,
about this.
the 100 proof is really what allows you to dive into this. You can't really get into it like the Noah's Mill. I mean, Noah's Mill does its thing, but you can really put your nose in there and take a big whiff.
Hey, Chuck, what was the mash bill that I saw on the website? They had it there. Okay, 72% corn, 13% rye, and 15% barley, which I think is a pretty typical
It's well
mash bill.
balanced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It seems high. That seems like it's high barley to me,
you think?
but I don't. I really don't. I never really pay attention to the barley percentage. It's more the corn and the rye or the wheat.
No, that's good.
Yeah. Well,
It's
I
very
think
solid.
let's compare that to Maker's Mark. Maker's Mark is 71% corn, and it basically it's almost the same. Actually, Maker's Mark is a wheated.
It's a weeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, weeded bourbon.
But it's still the ratio is the same.
So it says on the website here that the nose is unimposing nutmeg, clove, vanilla, and dehydrated orange with hints of cinnamon sugar. Citrus comes out more over time, complemented by, I can't read that word.
Sassafras.
Sassafras.
Creamed
And
corn.
creamed corn and mint.
Yeah, that picture of creamed corn is not really
I'm not
attractive.
sure. I suck at nose anyway, but I don't get a lot of that. But no, I do. You guys are all like, oh, I get this, I get that, and I'm like, I get caramel. That's pretty much what I say every time.
I get candy cotton.
Yeah, I
What?
get wood.
What do you get? Candy cotton?
I just made that up. I don't know.
No.
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
as far as 100 proof bottle and bond, I'm going to give this one probably a 7.5 for me.
Wow, that's pretty high.
I like the Willet stuff.
I'm gonna give it a 7.8
Yeah,
for being a bottle and bond. 7.8
yeah, it's strong.
all day long. In fact, you know what, Chuck, Mr. Producer, I'm gonna give it a 7.9 for being a bottle and bond. You're not gonna find a bottle and bond, in my opinion, as tasty as this. This is gonna rank high in a bottle
This
bond
is good.
category.
Yeah, this is good.
I'm trying not to be influenced by your high ratings.
Well, don't be honest about it. And,
Yeah.
and keep in mind what it is. Don't compare this to some of the other high proof stuff that we get.
True. That's
So,
a good point. That's a good
that's
point.
why
And
I
that's
wanna
what you
say-
were saying with the 100 proof.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with 7.258.
wow, very specific.
Yeah.
7 to 5.8.
No, 7.258.
Hmm.
Round that up at 7.3.
7 and 3/16.
All right,
Yes,
There you go.
3/16, huh? What are you, a measuring stick?
he is.
Yes,
He's a nauseating
Man, I might stick
mathematician.
another pull off this. It tastes good. I'm getting
yeah, it's
Yeah,
good.
it's good.
I'm getting like stone fruit cherries, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
Marichani. How do you say that?
Maraschino.
Melani.
Yeah, those
Melani. Yes,
Melani.
maraschino
Marijuana?
cherries.
Maraschino, yes.
Maraschino.
Something like that.
Yep.
Well, it's interesting that you got to get more out of it because you had another pour.
I know.
So,
We might as well just, infinity bottle that.
yeah,
Mazel.
we didn't really get that opportunity like you did, Sean. So, yeah.
Well,
Well, you got to save yourself. The next one's got balls on it, so.
Oh, we got to be careful.
Challenge
Yeah.
accepted.
Yeah.
Okay. How much time do we have? Can we hit another topic, or are we
No, we've got
rounding
time.
out?
We'll tell you what, we could talk about Chuck's birthday party.
Yeah.
About 3 minutes.
Chuck,
Three minutes. So
Chuck
Chuck had a
turned-
birthday party. All right. Roll the music.
So yeah, we had to get together at our well. First of all, Chuck approaches someone. I don't know who the hell approached us, but
I don't even know.
let's have a party at Sean's house. Because we've got the karaoke and stuff. Tara, as usual, goes all out. It's a luau.
She is the
So
hostess of the mostest.
she dropped whatever. She got a bunch of decorations. So now we got a bunch of luau shit. So now I got to go to Walmart.
Does she have
and buy-
coconut bra?
Yeah, she does.
Nice.
Yeah,
She
so she
what?
got a couple of those.
She had a
And
coconut
seashell.
bra? And
little
seashell.
seashells and coconuts. So we're gonna get a couple tubs and put them in there. So now we have some decorations for luau. So if you guys need luau, let us know. We've got some
Okay.
extra stuff.
Was it just covering the tips?
Just
No,
the
they were big old moon pie things. They covered the whole thing.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Kim, she was on the fence. She was going to go in the bathroom and try it. She comes back out. She says, "Yeah, no, I'm not going to do
Were they
that."
kind of having us
It's just
stuff into the coconut?
I was like, "Those aren't coconuts. Those are chocolate discs. They
Yeah.
disintegrate." All right.
and it really just wasn't that kind of party. You know what I mean?
yes.
Yeah. I mean, they had a lot of lube out. Why'd you have the lube out? That was weird.
It was a freak off. It was a freak off. Chuck's
Yeah.
off.
all the
Chuck
lube-
off.
It was a chuck off.
It was a chuck off.
all
Titty
the
luau.
luau pineapples were in the upright position. All right. After we had karaoke, we had a lot of fun though. You know,
It was
we,
a lot
we,
of fun.
Chuck and I, we were up until what 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning.
1:30. I went home at 1:30.
Yeah, Chuck goes, I think I left at 1:30. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, it's good when you don't exactly know when you leave.
Yeah.
Good night.
Well, I think it's good that
Just
I
keep track of
remembered.
time when
Yeah,
you're
that's
having
what I
a
mean.
good time.
You know what was a treat though was
Okay.
meeting some of your your friends.
Yeah.
That was
JT
cool.
came over.
Yeah, we met like a number of new
Oh, there
people.
was who's the Asian guy, the surveyor?
JT.
JT. He was kind of
Shout out JT.
he was. It took a while to warm up to him a little bit. He didn't want to do a whole lot, and he's kind of reserved a little bit. I was like, hey, try this, try that, try that.
Yeah, but
and then
you
all
were
of a sudden,
in his personal space.
oh, dude,
And then
totally
right
yeah.
in his face.
My
and
pants were off.
Were you
spitting on him
like
and-
humping them and everything?
You're gonna like it here. You're gonna be one of us.
I ran up to the house, ran upstairs to my bedroom, got my Diddy shirt on.
Just grinding on his
Yeah,
thigh.
see, that would make a
So
lot of people
after
uncomfortable.
everyone started
stuck
leaving,
around.
it was basically Chuck, JT, and myself. We were doing karaoke,
And Tara and Kim.
in the women, they were. We all of a sudden he chimes in. He jumped up there and did it. I was surprised.
Oh, really?
Jordan got up there and did some too. My buddy Jordan. Shout out Jordan.
Yeah, I met Jordan.
Yeah.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah.
I was just.
And Beth and Walter, old neighbors, they came over.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
It was really cool meeting your slice.
It was
of
nice
friends.
meeting Walter. He's
Yeah.
a big, tall
He is a
dude,
big dude.
man. I was
He's a
like,
big dude.
God damn, where do they
What
make
about
you
what
from?
about the food? Did you have like pineapple chicken and ham?
I tell you what, we had Emily made a smorgasbord, so she marinated the chicken, and she did a fantastic job. She did
That's tasty.
2 or 3 dozen wings and
How'd the green egg
2 or
work
3
out?
excellent.
Good.
You know,
Yeah.
here's the thing: I hadn't cleaned it out in quite some time, so I dumped a whole bag of charcoal in there, and it
On top
wasn't-
of the soot and ash. and
well,
everything?
it
Yeah,
seemed
we were
like it
like-
was pretty
we were
high. So I loaded it up, and then I realized I opened up the lower part where you're supposed to clean it out. I was like, holy shit, this thing's full.
Oh, just
and so I started dumping it out. All of a sudden, the charcoal all disappeared. I was like, holy shit, I didn't have that much in the bag. So now I'm rushed. So now I'm like, fuck, I got to process. I had a lot of chicken. So I ended up burning it on purpose, scorching it really good, and getting a nice good. Put the oven on 400, 450. And scorched it, gave it a
Finished
nice,
it in the oven.
firmed it up, threw it in the oven. Oh my God.
Outstanding. That's
Yeah.
good.
Lots
It
of
was-
compliments on
It
it.
was covered with debris. I was picking shit in my teeth for about
Oh, what-
72 hours.
Whatever.
But Shelly was like, "No, there's some still in your teeth and your nose." And
Emily's whatever they call it,
Marinade?
The marinade was
it
excellent.
was actually really, really good.
Yeah.
It was excellent. Got a lot
Yeah.
of compliments on what she did.
Good. You
Yeah,
should
it was,
have done
it was a fun party.
You should have done a whole pig.
You know, I considered digging a hole and putting a pig in there if I just knew more about how to do that.
Yeah.
That would be awesome if we could pull that off.
Give it a nice
gotta-
yard.
Easy
We've
to
got to
do.
do that just once.
All right, I'm in.
You could buy those down at Costco.
What, the
No,
pig?
we need to start to finish. Buy the pig, kill the pig.
Oh.
Oh, you wanna, do you want
Cut
to
its
raise it
legs off.
first?
Like go hog
Yeah, let's
hunting?
raise it. Let's raise it for 6 months, then give it a name and
Right.
dote on it, and then
Oh,
kill it.
shit.
Slice its throat right in front of the women.
All right, if
Right.
you're interested in this podcast, check us out on all the platforms, rss.com. You can find the source of where we get our stuff. But we're on everything, Amazon, Android, whatever crap you got there. Spotify, YouTube even.
Twitch.
Yep. No, we're
I
not
don't
on
think
Twitch.
We're on Twitch.
Son of a
We don't have the vids yet.
damn it.
All right. Well, we're also on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, Dudes Like Us -podcast, Dudes Like Us -woodcraft. It's June 17th, first half of the podcast. Thank you, Mr. Chuck, producer. Shout out to the old Bardstown for the bottle and bond. Fantastic. Scored really high. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
We'll see you in a little bit, man.
Yeah.